Okay, the next video is the 6.5, the issues related to automated manufacturing systems. Now, I've mentioned this in the past videos about the social and ethical issues of working in the automated manufacturing systems and how jobs are defined. Now, so in the syllabus and also in your textbook, it talks about jobs, and this is the first, it talks about the nature of work, and it says long-term effects of automated manufacturing systems on employment are debatable. People have lost jobs through automation, but population increases and consumer demand for these products have minimised these losses. Many people will argue that people are displaced. However, a worker whose job is taken over by machines undergoes a period of emotional stress, but on the other hand, the use of automation creates more jobs for people with information technology skills. So the argument is a lot about, the possibility that people who work in the automated manufacturing industry do have the opportunity to be re-skilled. In reality, the way in which you would approach the answer to a question of loss of jobs in the automated manufacturing systems is that it's not a loss of job, but it's also defined as changing the nature of work. So we have maybe someone working in a production plant which is doing a repetitive task. We'll talk about human-centered manufacturing and how boring that can be for someone, which leads to lack of emotion and emotional stress and things like that, to actually upskilling from that skill or that work and doing something else, which might be quite rewarding. So we have a look at a couple of videos here. The first one is the historical issues related to automated manufacturing industry and how it was in the development of machines and how little care employers had for employees at that time. So certainly a lot has changed. Obviously, one of the main things is the introduction of unions supporting workers. So go ahead and watch that video. The next one is, of course, looking at the automated manufacturing industry with, you can see this is the concept of Audi cars production. And you see there is no one around. So it takes 13 minutes to explain this video about how the use of robots can be used in the automated manufacturing industry, in particular a smart factory produced by Audi. And then we have the definitions that I have mentioned before about over-damping, under-damping and critical damping. I have explained this in another video, so I am going to move on, but it does mention it in the social and ethical issues of automated manufacturing. So you can write down those points if you want to. You can pause this video, but by now you should really understand what over-damping, under-damping and critical damping is and how it's actually asked in the HSC. This video talks about the history of industrial robots, and it talks about, in particular, this gentleman and how important he was to the implementation of using robots in the industry, and it talks historically about his ideas, who agreed with him and thought it was a great idea, and it's worth a watch. So go ahead and watch this video. And then we have a little bit about cars building robots. So you can go ahead and watch that to get an idea about what I'm talking about, which is the reduction of human interaction in an industry for mainly just safety. Now, we have two definitions here. One is machine-centered systems and the other one is human-centered systems. Machine-centered systems is what it is, what it says. That's basically a sentence which says a system or an automated manufacturing system uses machines as the main source of production. So the best example is Lego, where you can see that machines are totally the ones that are defined as creating the product. Then the next one is human-centered, where there's a lot more humans involved, and we talk about things like the production of critical components in a particular, say, a system unit or a like an Xbox. You do need a lot more human interaction because the production of some products are quite intricate, and therefore it can't be done by a robot or a machine-centered system. And of course, we talk about the reliability and the quality of what is produced. So in machine-centered ones, the machines can actually produce something quite repetitive without getting tired. They can run 24/7 without any dramas. They don't have to have a rest break, so that the production is reliable, it's more efficient, and also of high quality. But in saying that, humans sometimes can only do the tasks that robots can't do. So when I just mentioned about Xbox production, you would need, to install a particular component. It may need small, movements of fingers that robots cannot be created to be able to do, and so therefore it's more human-centered, and that also is reliable and also of quality as well. And then we move on to the big social and ethical issue, and we talk about safety. Now, you could Google or type into YouTube safety in the workplace or safety in the workshop. It has been overkilled by many production plants. It's it's so important these days that legally it's required that staff have an induction into the production to ensure that they are safe, because if something goes wrong, then the first question that someone, if they're coming into that industry and looking at how something went wrong, they would see, first of all, what are the qualifications of the person who got injured? Were they inducted into how to be safe? And of course, I was just looking on YouTube for ideas about showing you safety things, and like you've only got to type things like forklift fail, and you get a number of videos of forklifts, or worst forklift operator, industrial injuries and things like that. So you can go ahead and watch those. I haven't put that up on our OneNote or even in the comments of this video, because you probably could see some nasty things. So I know that I'm mentioning it about safety and I'm talking about safety, but I'm not going to show you any fail videos or anything like that. It's not my role to do that. So this is the social and ethical issues of the automated manufacturing industry. You can go ahead now and do the homework tasks that are provided for you on our OneNote, and the types of questions that you see in the HSC are things like the verb discussing the safety aspects of the industry or automated manufacturing industry when using robots for production of products. And you can talk about, there's less human interaction, there's less possibilities of a human being injured in terms of not only say a terrible thing like losing an arm or something like that, but just the long-term effects of hearing loss because of loud noises in the manufacturing industry. They're the sort of things that you could talk about in regards to the safety, and that's important.